Please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're back at it. All right. We did 3+ hours of video content yesterday, and we're back at it again this morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Who do we got in these streets this morning? Borland, congrats to you, my friend. Congrats to Borland. He got to boots on the ground, witness that incredible Anthony Edwards performance in the Minnesota Timberwolves, taking down the once undefeated Boston Celtics. We'll talk more about that here in a second. Sneeps is here. We got Jump Shoot Max Pax. We got the Hoggy fresh off his So Rare W last night. Congrats, sir. The Stubbs is here. The Common Man. Let's go. Common Man was running hot last night in the streets. Ian's here. We got Santa's boys. Happy International Merlot Day, says Snoopaloop. Anybody else? Botavine's up in here. What you dad? Yeah, we got a crossover bink last night. I saw what you did, what you dad, and I said, I need a little bit of that. We'll talk about my bink here in a second as well. We the people in the streets this morning. Do me a favor. Listen. We've been giving away a lot of So Rare stuff here, but we got a Top Shot. We got a Top Shot pack drop today that I'm not participating in and not going to talk too much about. But in honor of that, go ahead, like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Ant. We'll give away a moment or two here at the end of the stream. Rowdy Rod up in the streets. Patrick's here. We love to see it. This is what we got on tap this morning, boys and girls. We're going to talk some basketball. We're going to talk all of the games from last night, and then no games tonight. So we get to rest easy. It'll be interesting to see what kind of content we come up with tomorrow morning, because I will be most likely hungover after hosting my show tonight, plus no basketball. So we should get into it. You know what I'm saying? Happy Julian Strother Day for those who celebrate. Listen, I don't do this often, or maybe I do. Maybe you'll disagree. I'm going to go ahead and pat myself on the back today, because we had a couple of really sharp calls yesterday that hopefully benefited some of you, and I know it benefited me financially. In Underdog, I moved Anthony Edwards up in my rankings. I moved Zion up because I thought there was a real chance Zion was going to play point forward last night. I talked about Colin Gillespie and Julian Strother yesterday, who Gillespie didn't go out there and cook, but with a cap of 2, if you're in the So Rare streets, I think he played 17 minutes. It looks like Jamal Murray's going to miss a little bit more time. So again, I know it's a little too early to pat ourselves on the back, but is it? Is it? Because let me show you here. We're going to start with a little Underdog, and then I'm going to get into the action. We absolutely were on fire last night. Here we go. As what your dad mentioned, right? We won the crossover last night. We won the crossover thanks to Bam. Bam Adebayo, who went absolutely bonkers last night with a triple-double that included over 20 rebounds, right? We got Giannis over here, dropped 60. Halliburton still dropped 41 in a blowout. Ant-Man, the overtime of Ant-Man was incredible. We had Zion down here, too, who did solid. Laurie, and then Bam, again, 69, hashtag nice. We also had a second lineup in, and this is another victory lap. Guys, from here on out, whoever the Milwaukee Bucks are playing, I want you to lock that guard in, whether it's So Rare, Underdog, whether it's overs, whether it's DraftKings, whatever it is. We just have to play Cam Thomas, because the Milwaukee Bucks refuse to guard. Cam Thomas was going undrafted last night too. Dropped 56 on him in that. So shout out that. And then I want to shout out our guy, the Top Shot Common Man. Look at this W right here. I just straight up tailed him on Twitter last night. So if you're not following the Common Man, you got to do that. But we hit 20 for 200 last night. So that was fun. All right. Anyways, yeah. So we almost took down the Battle Royale for 6th place. For 6K. We finished in 5th place. I want you to just look at this dude right here. In 3us goes for 1st, 3rd, 4th, and I was 5th here with Embiid, who dropped 75, LeBron with 46, Ant-Man 59, Jimmy 44, DeJounte, and then Bam again. So anyways, this just incredible stuff last night. We had a night. We had a night. All right, we're going to get into some of the basketball from last night because there's a lot of games. We had condensed basketball action last night. Also, remind the people here, like the stream, subscribe, #Ant. We're going to give away some choppy shotties here at the end. Let's do it. Let's start with Celtics and Wolves because, good Lord, man, what a fun game. What a fun game. Minnesota, it seemed like Boston did not have, like, they weren't ready to play, and Minnesota absolutely was. You can tell the Wolves have taken down Denver when they were undefeated, and now the Celtics, they won 114-109 in overtime. But there was a toughness to the Minnesota team last night that was just really it was just that they were playing at a different level than the Celtics. And you could see the Celtics talent kind of oozing through. They're like, we might be just too talented, because every time it seemed like Minnesota was going to put the nail in the coffin, the Celtics went off. They down the stretch, if you guys didn't watch this in the 4th quarter, they even did a hack of Rudy, where they hacked Rudy. He goes 0 for 2 from the line, and then they immediately, JB hits a 3 in the corner. And I was like, okay, that's it. That's a wrap. But Ant-Man was just not having it. Even overcame Karl Anthony Towns' game. Cat, good Lord, man. So he gets in foul trouble early. And then, like, in the second half, he gets, he gets 2 fouls in the first quarter, checks in for like 5 seconds in the second quarter, immediately picks up his 3rd foul, and then he's done for the half. He comes back in the 3rd quarter, and he's just sloppy and turning the ball over. And then you see, he was complaining about that last call. And Borland, I'm curious what you thought when you were there. The last foul where he fouled out, he was like losing his mind. And they show the replay, and it was, he slapped him on the wrist, on the elbow. It was one of the more clear ones. There was a couple other questionable ones earlier. But whatever. We don't need to talk about Cat. We need to talk about Ant-Man, because there was this incredible sequence in overtime where he just straight up, he goes and gets a bucket, then just rips the ball away from Tatum, wins the jump ball, then goes down and hits another shot. He was just awesome in overtime. Ant-Man's final line last night was 38, 9, and 7. Rudy with 14 and 12. Nas had 14 off the bench. But somebody else we need to shout out a little bit to, who's probably going to be on the all-defensive team this year, is McDaniels, because McDaniels hit a couple of really clutch bombs, like corner threes last night. He finished with 20 whole points. He was great, man. He really was. The Wolves, man, if they can get it together, if Cat can get it together, I feel like they are going to they're going to be a tough out. Like, I don't know what their ceiling is, but they're competitive. Like, they seem to be able to get up for these big games, and they now move to 4-2 on the season, right? So no complaints there. On the Celtics side too, so they were without Derek White. Obviously, that messes them up a little bit. You saw way more Luke Cornett than you wanted to see. I think we can all agree to that, right? A little bit more Lukey Cornett. Sorry, Sneeps. I hope your ears are closed, earmuffs. But anyways, Tatum had 32, 5 and 2 with 5 steals. Jaylen Brown had 26, 7 and 4. The Zanger had 20 and 5. It was kind of funny. They threw Drew Holiday on Cat yesterday, which was something I was surprised to see. Something I'm excited to follow as we go on. But anyways, really good win for Minnesota. They should feel good. I mean, Ant continues to let me actually pull up what his season-long stats are so far, because it feels like every single game, if it's not like a big double-double, it's just a 35-plus point game. He's just looked so good. Let's see. So for this season, he's averaging 28 points, just under 7 rebounds, and just under 5 assists. Look at his shooting: 52% from the field, 47% from 3, 82% from the line. He's just been awesome, man. He's been awesome. He's been as advertised. And listen, if you're a Minnesota fan, you still got to figure out the Cat stuff. Like, he's on again, off again. You guys have one of the best defensive teams in the league right now. Like, I mean, Boston has been putting up like 140s, like just pretty casually dropping 140. And last night, I believe they were sub 100, right? They finished with 109. Maybe it was 101 going into overtime, something like that, but like really kept the Celtics in check that whole night. So big win for Minnesota. Congrats to them. Let's move on to the next game if there's nothing else there. Golden State won 120 to 109. This was a weird game. Steph scored 16 points in the first quarter, and it was like, this is it. This is it for Detroit. Like, good night. It's all over. And Detroit came battling back. I gave Killian Hayes some real slander last night on Live Before Lock. People were asking, what do we do with Killian Hayes? I said, light him on fire. Like, don't play Killian Hayes. And he went for 21, 7, and 4. Oscar Thompson, man, he's fun. 16 and 7. He had 4 steals again. I think this is like third consecutive game with 4 steals or something like that. No Jalen Duren last night. So Beef Stew in his honor dropped 17, 11, and 4. Chris Paul was pretty solid off the bench. He had 17, 6, and 5. Clay dropped 17. But Curry was the guy with 34 and 4. Hey, listen, Golden State winning games on the road. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? They just continue to beat the teams in front of them. They look good. They look good. We're starting to see some teams like separate a little bit. San Antonio came back to life. We see them like dominate Phoenix. They lose a tight one to Toronto. And then the Indiana Pacers ran them out of the fucking gym. Like I like the underdog did a special, right? Because in honor of Movember, it was like Bruce Brown over 10.5 points. Bruce Brown played like 9 minutes last night because they were just, the game was over before it started. Also, Wade had saying Wiggins still completely useless. I know, man. The Wiggins stuff is weird. I think he only played 21 minutes last night. Like, they're using Kuminga a little bit more. Yeah, the Wiggins stuff is weird. But anyways, the Pacers won 152-111. They dropped 152 on the Spurs. If you were like, oh, man, I can't wait to settle in and watch Wembanyama take on Miles Turner because they've been getting beat up. The Pacers have been getting beat up by bigs lately. Well, Wemby played 21 minutes. He had 13 and 10, 2 blocks. High score. The high score for the San Antonio the San Antonio Spurs. It's Bill Burr. The San Antonio Spurs. Doug McDermott. So, Sneeps, where you at in the chat? Doug McDermott. McBuckets dropped 17. Obi Toppin had 19. Halliburton 23 and 8. And then Aaron Nesmith. Shout out Aaron Nesmith. Had 15 off the bench. So, Pacers coming back. They get a W after that weird loss to Charlotte where no one was trying to win that game. There you go. Orlando and Dallas. This was a fun one, man. I thought Orlando was going to steal it. It looked like Orlando was going to steal this game. And Luka and Kyrie both questionable going into the game. Luka got off to a slow start too, which is honestly part of the reason why I was able to win so much money, because shout out Joel Embiid. Luka dropped 29 and 6, so you're damn right. We're going to do a drop, man. We're just going to talk about Luka. We're going to do a drop. Luka Magic. I don't know if this is true. This is just eyeballing it, but it felt like that was Kyrie's first like complete game. He got another one, got off to a slow start in the second half. He ends up finishing with 21 points, 10 and 6. So that's good. And then you know who else needs a little bit of love? Timmy Hardaway Jr. has been playing really, really good basketball. I mean, we know he just comes in and chucks, and that's what he's going to do, but I feel like he's been consistently, actually, I'm going to look this up. He had 21 and 6 last night, but it feels like he's consistently in that 20-point range this season. He's averaging 18 points and 4 rebounds on 42% from the field, 38% from the 3 line, and hasn't missed a free throw yet. So shout out to Timmy. But yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr. has been playing great. On Orlando's side of things, Paulo had another nice game, 22, 6, and 5. Quiet night from Franz. And then off the bench, Mo and Cole, I almost feel like that's some Three Stooges energy. Mo Wagner and Cole Anthony both dropped 19 apiece. But, dude, I got to tell you, man, I'm very impressed. First of all, I'm impressed with Dallas. Dallas continues to beat the teams in front of them. They've only dropped 1 game this season to the Denver Nuggets. But Orlando's playing a lot of competitive games, like competitive basketball games. They're beating good teams. Well, that's not true. They beat the Lakers. That's it, I guess, really. But they're in games. Like, Orlando seems like they are a team that's going to be, flirting with the playoffs this season. So I think even though Orlando takes an L there, they should feel good about that. But a very good win for Dallas. The Wizards, man. Listen, if you need a boost for your offensive rating or just like an emotional support boost, you need to feel good about yourself, just go play basketball against the Washington Wizards because once again, the Sixers dropped 146 on them. They gave up 128, but a lot of that, I mean, they just were blowing them out for a lot of the game. Denny had 16, 6, and 5. Jordan Poole crossed the 20-point mark for the first time in a while. It felt like he had 23 and 6. The Coos had 28 and 6. Embiid, Joel Embiid, man, in 31 minutes, 48 points, 11 boards, 6 dimes. 48, 11, and 6. I feel like we've been giving Jokic a lot of love because the Nuggets have been like top tier, playing really good basketball. We've given, Ant-Man his, Tatum his, but good Lord, Joel Embiid, just putting up big numbers. No James Harden, no problem. So that's great. What else we got here? Maxey, it seemed like Maxey was off to a bad game. He had 22 and 11. So no, he didn't have a bad game. And then Tobias had 18 as well. Tobias just continues to slowly do his thing. I'm pretty sure they allow 120 to a G League team. Yeah, man, the Wizards are bad. But dude, Sixers, you got to feel good. Washington, I don't know the teams that they've beaten. Actually, I'm going to look this up right now. The teams that they've beaten so far, because they got hold on. They got the Suns without Booker and Beal. Hold on, let's see. Basketball References taking a little while here. But if we can look at this shed, 5-1 under Nicholas Nurse, baby. Come on, just show me the schedule. Oh God, Basketball Reference. I use just so many stats. Oh, here it is. Sorry, guys. Full-on meltdown here this morning. All right, so they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. First game they lost, and then they ripped off 6 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 5 in a row. So they beat the Raptors. They beat the Trailblazers. They beat the Raptors again. Then they beat the Suns without Beal and Booker, and then they beat the Wizards. So, yes, they have not won anybody. They haven't really beaten any real teams yet. Sorry, Toronto. But whatever. You beat the teams in front of you. That's all you can do. So congrats to the Sixers. We love to see it. All right, the Bucks and the Nets. Bucks won 129-125. And I got to tell you, man, maybe I'm being a dick because, they beat the Knicks and I kind of make fun of them. They beat the Nets and I feel like I got to make fun of them again because Cam Thomas, man, Cam Thomas hit a shot from the logo. I did a short on that this morning. I don't know if you guys saw that, just casually pulling up from the logo. Cam drops 45, 4, and 3, went 17 for 33 from the field, 6 for 16 from 3. Mikal Bridges, 31, 5, and 4. Lonnie Walker, 19 off the bench. And then I want to make fun of Ben Simmons here for a second. So 2 points, 15 boards, 4 dimes, 1 for 3 from the field. He took 3 field goal attempts the entire game. That feels weird. Giannis had 36, 12, and 3. Dame had 21, 7, and 6. And then 4 guys off the bench, all in double figures. But this is just going to continue to happen. And this isn't, the Knicks are the Knicks are a competitive, talented team. So that win should count. Brooklyn is feisty, but I don't really trust anything that we're seeing there. But now we're adding Cam. I feel like I'm beating myself over the head or saying that running this take into the ground because we say it every time they play a game. But Maxey dropped 30, Hero dropped 35, 3 Hawks in double figures, Jalen Brunson 45, and now we add Cam Thomas to the list as he drops 45 on him. So I just don't know when they're gonna doesn't matter. Maybe they're just we're fine getting cooked. We're fine getting cooked as long as we win games, right? That's all that matters. But I feel like at some point when they start playing real teams. Maybe these are the real teams. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not giving them enough credit. Oh yeah, Dennis Schroeder. That's the one I did forget. I knew I was forgetting one. Dennis Schroeder dropped 24 and 11 on him. So I don't know. I don't trust Milwaukee right now. And Dame had 21, 7, and 6, but it was a weird game. Anyways, Heat and Lakers. Heat culture. 108, 107. Actually, we're going to take a quick break here because your boy, we're going to take a quick So Rare ad read because We are stuffed up. Today's NBA bit is brought to you by So Rare. Daily fantasy sports is annoying. Constantly paying attention to injury news, who's starting, who's sitting, and just having to remember to enter your lineups each and every day. With So Rare, you just have to enter your lineup once for each game week. And instead of having to pay an entry fee each time you enter a contest, with So Rare, once you buy your cards, the tournaments are free. Each game week, you'll have a chance to win more card rewards to bolster up your roster. And this year, So Rare is introducing cash prizes. So sign up for So Rare today using the link in the description, and they'll start you with 20 free common cards. And by using our link, once you buy 5 cards from auction, they'll give you a 6-1 free. So sign up for So Rare today and see if you can take down Mike Sorarian. All right, sorry about that. Although we're 20 minutes in, we can take a break 20 minutes in. But anyways, the Heat won 108-107. Anthony Davis got hurt, and then he came back, and then he left, and then he came back again. It seems like he's going to be okay. I'm not really too worried about AD. Lakers, though, is that 3 losses in a row? I think they're 2-4 now. LeBron had 34-3. Austin Reeves is back, though. Austin Reeves is back, which is good to see. He had 23, 10, and 9. On the Heat side of things, though, Jimmy Butler, 28 and 6. Tyler Hero, 22, 5 and 5. And then Bam Adebayo, right? 22 points, 20 rebounds, 10 dimes, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. Bam. Just unreal last night. And it's funny because in Underdog, I was trying to click Bam every once in a while in the 6th round, but I was like, I don't really love this matchup against Anthony Davis. Well, all we needed was Anthony Davis to have groin spasms. Also, I'm going to say this right now. Back spasms is something you hear a lot about, right? I've had back spasms. It's a common thing that happens as you get older. Athletes deal with it. That's why Bradley Beal's not playing right now. A groin spasm feels like, what happens after you're all done, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoo, whoo, whoo. That's it. That's what a groin spasm sounds like, So I didn't know that was a thing. That sounds real. If it's anything like a back spasm, that's going to be real painful. But sorry, AD. I feel like only AD could have a groin spasm. I mean, he's had it all, right? If he's playing like injury bingo, my guy AD has, he's gone up and won a couple of like stuffed animals already. Just a lot of it. Maybe he's growing up with that groin spasm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just wild stuff. Also, I like that would be the line for you. I like that a groin spasm is where you draw the line with the dumb stuff that I've said on this show. Yeah, this is an 18. Are you 18 plus? Nexon blog. Also, Nexon, what are you blogging about, bro? Maddie says, need a cigarette. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, really good win for Miami, though. They've kind of been all over the place. Stan Loves arrives in the chat right on time. Yeah, they've kind of been all over the place to start the season. And you look what happens when their 3 best players play well, right? All of Hero, Bam, and Butler, 20-plus points. They get the W. Good win for them. Hey, you know what kind of got overshadowed by groin spasms and Anthony Edwards last night? James Harden played basketball. First game of the year. MSG, Madison Square Garden, Clippers, Knicks. Starting lineup, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Zubats equals an L. Big L for the Clippers. I mean, whatever. It's their first game. I'm not really worried about it. Harden, they said Harden was going to be on a minutes restriction, and then he ended up playing like 31 minutes. I thought that was kind of funny. I guess that's a minutes restriction. How many? They think he was going to play 33, and he played 31. He had 17 and 6. Russ had 17, 4 and 4. Kawhi with 18 and 5. And you know what? We haven't done this in a while. But boy, you know who's back? Guess who's back?
Regular season Randall.
I do it one more time just for the vibes.
Regular season Randall.
Orange Julius out there. Big old game. 27, 10, and 3. RJ, who's questionable, was like a late Q tag. Looked like he might miss the game. Drops 26, 6, and 4. Good win for the Knickerbockers. Bing Bong lives on. And Clippers, you got to fire Ty Lue. Fire Ty Lue, get him out of there. No, I'm just kidding. Ty Lue's one of the best coaches. But we had a fun conversation around that. Actually, speaking about that, if you guys missed, we had a lot of content yesterday, right? We had the NBA bit and then live before lock at 5:30. But at 7 o'clock, in case you missed it, the 89 Cavs returned. And it was pretty crazy. It was we had internet issues from Justin did a man on the street at one point. It was kind of all over the place. I think I canceled myself with a Nike take. So if you missed it, go check that out. Bottom line says the Knicks commentators were unironically saying this is what we know and love Randall for. Yeah, take the good with the bad with Julius Randle, baby. But good win for the Bing Bong boys. Let's keep going. Bulls taking on the Utah Jazz. They won 130-113, and they kind of in control. Like it was a close game in the first quarter, and then just kind of in control the rest of the way out. So good win for Chicago. Zach LaVine dropped 24. Kobe White had a good. It felt like every time I flipped over because I had a lot of Lauri Markkanen on underdog, and I wanted to see how Lauri was doing. Every time I turned over, Kobe White was knocking down a big shot. I mean, he only finished with 18 and 7, but it seemed like Utah would get it down to like 12. 10 or something like that. And then Kobe White just knocks down a 3. So good to see that from him because he'd gotten off to a slow shooting start. DeRozan, 21-5-4, also had 4 steals. LaVine had 24. Lauri did have another good game, man. I'm like happy for Lauri. I know Utah. I think Utah is not finding the same success they did last season out the gates. They're still playing a lot of competitive games, but losing. But Lauri seems legit. He's still playing really well. So he had 29-5. And then Walker Kessler with a 15 and 15. Good performance from him. Only 3 games left. And guys, the Houston Rockets blew the piss out of the Sacramento Kings. Like, just smoked them. And it's 2 games in a row where they're just like start to finish stomped on them. I don't think they've won a game since Fox has been out, right? I think they lost a tight one of the Warriors and back-to-backs on the Houston Rockets. You know what? We get a shout-out, Alpi Şengün. So I quickly jot down everybody's stats the next morning and didn't watch too much of this game because it was over right away. And I saw that he had Şengün had like a Sabonis type line, almost a triple-double, 17, 12, and 8. So just naturally, I'm like, 17 points, 12 rebounds, 8 dimes. He had 12 assists. 12 assists from Şengün, which is good to see. And then Jalen Green, after giving him some guff yesterday, dropped 23 points. So happy for Green. Again, Rockets now, I think they started 0-3, and now we're going to look at the standings here in a second, but then ripped off 3. So good stuff. Good stuff, man. Tesla saying they won't be good without Fox. Nobody can even come close to replicating his action. Yeah, I mean, Fox, is all-star caliber, all-NBA type. I mean, especially what we saw from him in the playoffs in that Warriors series. I mean, De'Aaron Fox was like the best player out there a couple of times. So, I said this yesterday when we were going over the weekend's action, but, the Kings ran so hot with injury stuff last year. Like, nobody got hurt, and now, it sucks. Regression. Oklahoma City, Atlanta Hawks. It looked like SGA wasn't even, it was just assumed he was going to be out yesterday after missing Friday's game with the hyperextended knee. And then all of a sudden, around like 11:30 a.m. yesterday, they're like, hey, it's questionable. And whenever that happens, I'm like, you gone from like out to questionable. SGA's playing, baby. And he was great. So they won 126-117. Again, it's a casual 30 from SGA. And it's funny, he's like, he only had like 5 points in the first quarter. Only like a 7-point second quarter. And then again, he finishes with 30 points, 8 and 6. Chet Holmgren, man, continues to cook. He had 16 and 12, 3 blocks and a steal. J-Dub dropped 21. I wish Josh Giddey played a little bit better for my rearbacks. But Jalen Johnson, another double-double in the starting lineup. He had 13 and 12 for Atlanta with 5 dimes as well. Trae Young, 22 and 11. And then DeJounte had 29 and 6. I actually wanted to see what DeJounte's stats are for the season because I feel like every time we talk about the Hawks, DeJounte's been playing well. So he's averaging 20. His career is 14 points per game. He's averaging just over 22 points a game right now, over 4 rebounds and over 6 assists, shooting 38.5% from 3, which, that used to be one of his downsides was he couldn't extend the floor. Shooting 38% from 3, 50% from the field, and 86% from the line. So I know we're talking more about Atlanta than OKC, but good bounce back win for OKC after dropping that game to Golden State on Friday in brutal fashion. Atlanta, I mean, it was a very competitive game. It was fun the whole way. good win. OKC's just good, guys. OKC is just good. The Denver Nuggets, last game of the night, 134-116. I want to talk about the Pelicans first because the Pelicans, we talked about it yesterday. CJ McCollum collapsed lung. He's going to miss. I think No Dunks was saying it yesterday when CJ got hurt. He missed because this is the second time his lung has collapsed. And I think they said 17 games or something like that. I might be making that up. Now I feel like I quoted them and then I'm going to give them bad information. Missed a considerable amount of time. So I was very interested in watching this game because I love Denver, but also because I wanted to see how New Orleans was going to handle this. And, Hawkins played well. Dyson Daniels was out there. Kira Lewis Jr. got a little bit of run on the second unit, but Zion was doing a lot of the playmaking. And there we go. 6 weeks. Thank you, Santa's boys. He was doing a lot of the playmaking. And I mentioned this. I don't even know if I mentioned it on stream. Oh, I did on Live Before Lock. That I was like, I wonder if we see Stan Van Gundy's point Zion. And Zion had a great game last night. Like 20 points, 10 boards, 9 dimes, 2 steals. But what I thought was pretty impressive from Zion's performance, no turnovers. For as much facilitating that he was doing offensively, no turnovers. I need Zion to get more aggressive. There was a couple of times late in the game where he just was like, you know what? I'm going to just put my head down and go to the rack. And it was like an easy 2 points every single time. Even with Aaron Gordon on him, it just seemed like he could go right by him. But anyways, really good performance from Zion. Brandon Ingram had 22 and 5. Hawkins, who I mentioned, he had 31 and 7 from the Rook. He played really well. Jokic just continues to do it. Also, I saw Shea Serrano share Zach Harper's, because I didn't read the bounce yesterday, but Zach Harper talking about Jokic and Luka's numbers as safe combination numbers. And so meaning, 35, 14, 12. And again, another big triple-double from him, 35, 14, and 12. Michael Porter Jr., another 20-point-plus performance from him. He had 22 and 9. Aaron Gordon with a double-double, 15, 12, and 6. But Julian Strawther, baby, the rookie from Denver, Julian Strawther, dropped 21 off the bench in Jamal Murray's absence. 8 for 13 shooting, 5 for 9 from the three-point line. He looked awesome. Competent. He was moving really well without the ball. I think Christian Brown had a bad game last night. Reggie Jackson, who got the start for Jamal Murray, didn't really do much. So to see Strawther come in and step in and just do work for that second unit was really promising. And then Colin Gillespie, who I know we joked about last night, and I said at the top of the show, he played 17 minutes. He only had 6 points, 1 board, 1 dime, and 2 steals, which is great for a cap of 2 BT dubs. But he did nothing in his first shift. His first 5 minutes, he did nothing. So all of those stats came from his second half. And I'm telling, Malone after the game said Jamal Murray's not close to coming back. It sounds like he's going to miss quite a bit of time. So listen, not financial advice. We got to do a financial advice drop. We haven't done that in a while. This is not financial advice. If I can find it in a reasonable time manner. Good God, man. What's the carrying? Pick it up. None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do. Something like that, right? I just want to continue to pay attention with that. I'm sure Reggie's going to have his games, but especially with Denver, continuing to get W's, I feel like now is the time for them to ease in Strawther, Pickett, or Gillespie. So I'm just going to continue to monitor it. Obviously, once their caps start rising, it changes the value of their so rare cards. I don't think any of those guys are dropping 50 or anything like that, but I don't know, for a cheap shot, I don't hate it. All right, let's go over to, that was last night's action. A lot of basketball games in a condensed amount of time, which I know some people are complaining about, but not I. I love that shit. We're going to go look at the NBA standings. Kim Pazzo 2.0, that's good. Denver knows how to draft. They learned from Moutier. Remember Moutier? Shout out Moutier. Let's go look at the ESPN, the worldwide leader of sports. So Celtics dropped their first game. They are 5-1 on the year, tied for first place with the Sixers. Excuse me. They square off tomorrow night. Celtics and Sixers, baby. So that'll be a fun one. Bucks now winning 2 in a row. They are up to 4-2. Atlanta Hawks dropped their first one in a bit. They're now 4-3. The Pacers are above 500 at 4-3. Orlando Magic are now 4-3 after they lost to the Dallas Mavericks. And then in the 7 through 10 range, you get the Cavs, Knicks, Raptors, Nets, and even the Miami Heat all at 3-4. Heat have now won 2 in a row. The Nets have dropped 2 in a row. Chicago Bulls are 3-5. And then down here, we got the Charlotte Hornets 2-4. Detroit basketball 2-6. And the Washington Wizards 1-5. Yeah, I went over that a little bit earlier, right? So they beat the Raptors twice. They beat the Suns without Booker and Beal, and lost to the Bucks, and then beat the Wizards, right? Western Conference, Denver is now, after dropping that game to the Minnesota Timberwolves, they've won 3 in a row. They've improved to 7-1. Dallas Mavericks have only lost 1 game, and that was to the Denver Nuggets. They moved to 6-1. Golden State Warriors, they bounced back after their loss. They are now 6-2. They are 5-1 away this year. Incredible. That's also nuts. They've only played 2 home games. The Minnesota Timberwolves, baby, winners of 3 in a row, 4-2. World beaters after they've knocked off both the Celtics and the Nuggets. The New Orleans Pelicans dropped to 4-3. Oklahoma City Thunder, they bounced back. They're 4-3. Clippers are 3-3. Houston Rockets, look at us. Look at us, 3-3. Phoenix Suns 3-4. Lakers now losers of 2 in a row, dropping games to the Magic, and the Heat are now 3-4. Spurs are 3-4. Blazers 3-4. Sacktown, light the beam. The beam has only been lit 2 times. They're 2-4. Hopefully De'Aaron Fox is back soon. The Utah Jazz 2-6, and then the Memphis Grizzlies are 1-6. So there you go. There you have it. That is the standings right now. I'll look at the schedule for Wednesday night quickly just to see what. So again, no games tonight because in the US of A, everybody's going to be out there voting. Washington plays Charlotte Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Oh, fire up playback, baby, because we have Washington and Charlotte. Jordan Poole versus LaMelo Ball. Utah and the Pacers, another barn burner. And then somehow the Wemby and the Knicks are on my God, are ESPN instead of Celtics Sixers. What are we doing? Anyway, Celtics Sixers at 7, Clippers Brooklyn, Spurs Knicks, Phoenix Chicago, LA and Houston, Miami and Memphis, Detroit and Milwaukee, New Orleans Minnesota will be pretty fun. Cleveland, OKC, Toronto, Dallas, Golden State, Denver. There we go. That's a nice little nightcap. And then Portland, Sacktown. So there you go. So that'll be, we're going to look at So Rare here in a second, but that's a big slate on Wednesday and then just 2 games on Thursday. So we'll have a good world. Yeah, there's still college ball and NHL. NBA is the only sport to take off. Yeah, there you go. Rock the vote. I'm in a county where it's like the votes are already, it's done. They've already figured it out because it's just Apollopolis and Dupolis and Copolopolis all running for Greek stuff. All right, we're going to take one more break here to about Underdog, and then I'm going to poke around on So Rare and Underdog. We'll be right back. Today's NBA bit is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Sports. Whether you're drafting Luka first overall in best ball or fading Wemby blocks in the pick'ems, Underdog is where you'll find Team Hold. Sign up today at UnderdogFantasy.com or just click the link in the description to get started. And by signing up using promo code HOLD, HOLD, you will get a 100% deposit bonus match up to $100. That's a free honey. So sign up today using promo code HOLD, HOLD, and get started at UnderdogFantasy.com. Santa's boys trying to make deals right now. Maybe Santa's boys. We are going to go over to So Rare here in a second. There was something else I was just going to say before we went over. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Underdog. So remember how I mentioned the promo was actually a $500 deposit bonus match? That promo is over. It's back down to 100. So the ad read is right. But I just wanted to make that clear. So if you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, do it. Do it. Puska says, Scotty for most improved. This dude is destroying. Yeah, man. We talked about him yesterday. Go check out yesterday's show. We did actually, I did a YouTube short about it too and put it on Twitter, but we redrafted the 2021 NBA draft, and Scotty might be number 1. Scotty doesn't know. All right, let's go look at my So Rare squads because it's just, again, I'm just going to show you how hard this shit is because it is hard. It is really, that's what she said. But it's been a tough start for me. Every time I think I have it together, we don't. So I'm going to look at my lineups. We'll start with the Rare Champion right now. This lineup is in 90th place right now, which I think is still a few points off from, actually, let me go back. Doesn't it tell me how many points off? We're 9 points away from the closest reward. Yeah, Limsey. Yes. We took an L, sir. We took an L. I said I would, when I said I would take Franz over Scotty. Scotty is him. Scotty's him. I will say though, right? Like Scotty and Cade. Oh, I don't want to do this again. Scotty and Cade though are like clearly 1-2, 1A, 1B from that draft. But Franz and Giddy and Mobley are all right behind him. All right behind him. Anyways, all right, back to this. So this is 9 points away. So Curry dropped 48. Like he had 34 real life points, but didn't really come through with the other statistical analysis. We had Kyrie Irving right here. He dropped 57, which was good. Maxey with 55. Zion was 60. And look at that beautiful Gillespie dropped 18. So 9 points away. Hopefully, Steph, they all have one game left. So hopefully on Wednesday, we see them outperform what we saw already. So that's my rare champion. My rare contender, like, dude, Giddy dropped 17. I need that. Gillespie and Giddy can't be putting up the same numbers, okay? But if Giddy can get up around that 35 range in his next game, that would be nice. And then we have Zaire Williams, Mark Williams, and DeAndre Ayton still to go. Rare underdog was kind of fun, only because, I mean, Vernon Carey's not going to play, but I got 23 out of Grant and still have these bros to go the next game. What's killing me, though, I'm going to scroll down to Street Ball. I couldn't fit Bam in a lineup, and then Bam dropped 75. So heartbroken about my street ball lineup. My limited contender dropped 92 points. We got Zion again with a 54 spot. Reggie Jackson, 16. Come on, Reggie. DFS had 23. Still have Ayton and Zaire again in that lineup. And then what was the other one? Oh, limited underdog. Look at this. Is actually kind of spicy. Dario Saric dropped 27. Kira Lewis was disappointing. Landry Shamet face didn't really get in. Javon Carter with 25. Drum with 25. I don't know. I feel like that could actually get there. And then what's my common one? I think I just had Jokic. Oh, yeah. Jeremy Sohan was really bad, but Jokic dropped to 80, Gordon 40. Anyways, that's my squad. I will say after my underdog W last night, I am tempted to like go find an MVP for my rare lineups, but that's what we're looking at. I want to see if the Double Dribble updated their regular season standings for today. We can look at this. Nope, not yet. But best ball's still going really well. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't know. I'll hang for a few more minutes. That's all the content I had for you this morning. I didn't have my same amount of preparation because the dog woke up just ready to dump. So I had to like run him out this morning, which like usually I walk him after the show. But you guys have anything else for me? Throw it in the chat now and I'll hang out. And I don't know. I'll remind the people too. We are doing a little Chop Shotty giveaway in honor of Ant-Man. So if you haven't done it yet, like the stream, subscribe, #Ant. Just a reminder, content for the rest of the week, right? We will be back here tomorrow morning at 9. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, so I'll try to actually do some work to plan ahead. That'll be tomorrow, and then Shot Tank tomorrow night at 9 p.m. with Jeb. I don't think we're going to have TST. I think he's on vacay. And JBB, they'll make their return. On Thursday, we should have our first So Rare show with our guy George St. Ledger, going to be jumping on there. So that'll be well, it won't be a live show, it'll be a recorded show, but that'll be out on Thursday. And then Friday, that three show Friday, baby. We'll have the NBA bit in the morning. We'll have the underdog happy hour in the afternoon at 3 p.m. and then at 5:30 live before lock for the next game week. Tomorrow we can go through the marketplace. Yeah. Oh, that's right. So that'll be on the market tomorrow. Yeah, we can take a look at what everything's going for. I'm more interested in looking at it in like 2 weeks. I'm curious if the user base is a little bit smarter this time around because they know that only half of the supply or 45% of the supply, whatever it was, is coming out. So I wonder if people are a little bit slower to jump on things, but hey, the hype around Wemby's legit, right? What's your thought on Taylor Hendricks? Well, how much has he been playing? I was taking shots on him in the last round of best ball just because, I mean, he is a lottery pick. I think they talked more about their other rookie, Keontae George, and Keontae George has been playing like 15 minutes a game. I mean, he hasn't been going crazy, but he's been playing. Hendricks, I think, in his position, he's just going to get through more guys, right? I will say the Jazz's start of 2-6 is probably going to, if this continues, we'll see some more Hendricks in the new year. So if he's somebody you're thinking about stashing to play later, I don't hate that because his cap's going to be real low because he's played one game. And I know he's down in the G League. But yeah, I don't hate taking a shot because it's probably pretty cheap right now. So I don't hate it's so rare anyways. I don't hate taking a stab on that. Yeah, with the people. Yeah, Hawkins went for 31. I did. Yeah, I mentioned that. He looked awesome. He looked awesome. Point Zion was feeding the hawk. Yeah. Denver's so good though, man. Denver's so good. But yeah, Hawkins looks good. But yeah, Puskas, I don't hate that call. What is let me look at Hendricks. Could you see a market and trade? I don't know, man. I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know what his deal looks like right now. I don't know how many years my guys got left. Let's see. All right, Taylor Hendricks has one call. Wow, so his cap is of 2. His cap is of 2. Low ask of 103. Well, see, actually, sorry, I didn't mean to take that off. What's his auctions for? That was his rare, by the way. I was looking at his rare. Does he have any auctions? 1 day left. I don't know. Maybe keep an eye on that. Is an OG type defender best for Wemby? Strong enough to move him off his spots, quick enough to contest on the perimeter? Yeah, probably. I mean, like, yes, probably. But I think like that's just for right now. I think as Wemby gets a little bit stronger, I think that, yeah, I don't know, man. KD being like befuddled by how to defend him kind of told me everything I needed to know. Not that KD's at his prime defending era because he's been having to do so much offensively, but I mean, KD's still like a good defender. But yeah, OG probably right now is the type of guy you want to throw at him. Need some help defense over the top for lobs. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. OG though, you know what? OG's actually been off to a pretty sharp start this season, which has been good to see. Cause I know Masai treats him like he is Wemby. It's like, yeah, we'll trade him for your firstborn and 55 draft picks. But he's been playing really, really solid basketball. It's Pascal that's been the problem, you know? Just move Wemby out the paint. What do you mean? I mean, Wemby knocks down threes. He just knocks down threes. What do you mean move him out there? He'll knock him down out there too. It's incredible. He's incredible. All right, I'm gonna say last call here for the Wemby giveaway. I mean the Ant Wemby. Jesus, like the stream, subscribe, #Ant. I think this is like an Enos Cantor Series 1 or something. Shout out New Swami who sent over some moments that I forgot to give away the last one, and he got mad at me, so we're gonna give that away. Go ahead, do that. We'll give this thing and we'll spin this, and then I'll just see you guys tomorrow. I gotta go rest that voice. Been talking too much the last day or two, you know? Need some throat coat. All right, here we go. If you win, shoot me a DM at Mike's Carrying or join the Discord. Appreciate everyone being here the last couple of days. Been having some fun. Enjoy the night off with some basketball. Watch some Welcome to Wrexham or something. Winner, chicken dinner, Matic Auto. Smoke some, baby. Smoke some in honor of Matic Auto. Hope everybody has a nice little Tuesday. If you were in the US of A, go vote. And if you're not in the USA, find a way to vote. Make your voice be heard. Lie, cheat, steal.